So, namaturasyaha doshaha. Probably true, my brother. Then it's the mistake of the king, Dasharatha. If wives always demand for 101 things, it's the duty of the husband to think whether his pocket permits or not. Now, whatever she asks, he is not supposed to do that, Okay, Kaika asked for something, at least he would have used his brain. Because Rama loved by all people. Rama loved by everybody. Even the earth, the mother earth wanted Rama to be the ruler. Medini akamayata Ramam, Valmiki says. When Rama was such a beloved, king, beloved boy, loved by everybody, then it had the duty of the father to think first and then sanction the boon. But our father did not do that. So it's the mistake of our father, Dasharatha, to give these boons, to sanction these boons. Sorry. No. We shouldn't point out to Dasharatha at all, because he is the king. If the king himself is not following his own word, who else will follow that in the world? Yadha Raja? That's all. If the king himself is ignoring his own word, then you can't expect the world to be fair then. So Dasharatha accepted, he gave the boons, that's all. So it's not the mistake of Dasharatha. Then Rama, then Bharata, whose mistake it is then? Probably it is Rama's mistake. No, after all, father crossed the 60s. Now they become old, This is a common ideology of our nowadays people, our children. Father crossed the 60s, he became old. He can't know all the things, We have to think something good and do that. That is how our children think. That is Shatrughna's tendency, He said, okay, our father crossed already 60,000. Then it is the duty of our Rama, who knows the pulse of people, whether to go to the forest, whether to accept the verdict of father or not. But Rama didn't do that, just he left for the forest, and he was responsible for the demise of a father. He can use his brain, which Rama didn't do. Then Bharata said, shut up your mouth, my brother. It's not Rama's mistake. If Rama himself is not obeying our father, whose son will obey their fathers? Because he is a model to the world, forever. When Rama himself is not obeying the father, then we can't expect any son to obey any father. Maybe true, my brother, then whose mistake it is? Shatrughna question. The answer is very, very heart-shaking. Mat papamevatra nimittamasit vanapravese raghunandhunasya. It moves our heart. He said, it's my mistake, because I would have stayed with Rama. I would have stayed with my mom. But I left this place. I went to my uncle's house. Because I'm away, all these things happened. If I would have here, these things wouldn't have happened, Otherwise, when Rama was leaving for forest, I also would have followed him as Lakshmana did, which I couldn't do. So the mistake falls on me. I born, that's why my mother asked. It's my mistake. Mat papamevatra nimittamasit. Is it possible for anybody to be like that? To accept like that? Though he is not a sinner, though he has no mistake at all. Some people, great people at times impose something on us, saying, you are like this. The immediate reaction, no sir, I am not like that. If we do something and if somebody says, we admit. And if we won't do that, and then in spite of that, if somebody imposes something on us, are we ready to accept it? We never. But Bharata, in spite of not knowing about anything, in spite of his innocence, everybody said that it is the mistake of Bharata only. But he didn't open his mouth at all. He didn't want to counteract. He didn't want to reply. But it's interesting now to know. He proved with his action, with his practice. People started showing me, pointing out me, right? Let people realize that I am innocent. I don't want to say with my mouth. Let people realize and let them say, Arere, we mistook. Bharata was really a great person. Bharata was really innocent. Let them say, let me act like that. Then he didn't accept the kingdom first. And then he said, I bring Rama back to kingdom. He left for the forest. He met with Guha. Even Guha said, Arey, are you going to cause some damage to Rama? Still he tolerated that. And again he went to Bharadwaja ashram. Trikalagnya, Bharadwaja also said, Kachit aklishta papasya papam kartumihar. Bharadwaja wanted to test Bharata that night when he hosted all the Ayodhya people with his ability of tapas, with his power of penance. He created a beautiful assembly like this, where he arranged a nice chair for the king to sit, and so many chairs for the ministers, and for the the police commanders and other people, for other people to sit in. And there he invited Bharata. Come on, Bharata, I created something for you. Come on, I'll show you. He took Bharata to that place and he showed the seat where a king has to sit and said, Bharata, please sit there. All these things were created for you. It is surprising. Bharata, everybody was very, very curious what Bharata will do. Bharata went to the chair. Just he prostrated before the chair. He made 3 rounds, took the Vinjamaram into hand, sat in the seat of minister and started waving that. Everybody shed tears for the commitment Bharata has towards Rama, for the devotion he has towards Rama. Though Rama was not there, he felt if it is the seat of a king, king is only Rama and Rama will be there on the seat. Maybe he is not presenting himself, but Rama is there. That's how he felt. That's why he sat and just started waving his Vinjamaram there. This is what we call Kshanti. With his practice, he proved that others should realize, not you have to convince them. Always we want to prove, always we are pure. You need not prove. You do good, let others realize that you are good. Whoever imposes something bad on you, let them wash it. You need not wash you. This is, what we call Kshanti. Are we like that? We do mistake. Still somebody point out, we can't tolerate. This is how we people are. But Krishna says, this is the way to practice. Ahimsa, Kshanti is the 4th one. And the 5th quality which we have to cultivate is Arjavam. Arjavam is straightforwardness. We think straightforwardness is something physical. Not only just it is physical, it is matching 3 things. Vak, manas and action. If these 3 things go together, we say it is rujupravrutti. It is arjavam. Having something in the heart, speaking something out, doing something else, this is not the practice of a right person. Vachasyekam, manasyekam, karmanyekam, sadatmanam. Vachasi anyat, manasi anyat, karmani anyat, duratmanam, says. We need to have that ruju buddhi. It's interesting when Surpanakha came to Rama, when he was in the Panchavati, Surpanakha came to him and said, "Oh, pretty beautiful boy, who you are?" She asked, "Ruju buddhitaya It appears Rama was so innocent. Just he started telling, I am so and so, my father was so and so, my mom was so and she wanted this, so we came to the forest, she is my wife, and so just he elaborated all the story without hiding anything. To whom? To Surpanaka. This is what Rama. It's a Rujubuddhi. He never wanted to hide anything. Transparent. Everything is transparent in his life, always. You can see through. This is what we need. To have that Rujubuddhi, we need to have self-confidence first. That self-confidence is very difficult. If you have that, you will have that Rujubuddhi. Krishna says, have Arjavam also. Kshantihi Arjavam. And the fifth and very important thing is Acharyopasanam Chaiva, which is very difficult. But with which we can cultivate the rest of the qualities. If you want to cultivate Kshanti, if you want to cultivate Arjavam, if you want to cultivate that Adambham, Amanitvam, etc., you need to have Acharyopasana, worshipping your Acharya. Worshipping means following his verdict as it is. Trying to keep him always in a mood of joy by your service, by your following his orders. He says something, no, he teaches the lesson, and we come to him and again when he questions, I forgot, sir. No. Acharya Upasana is very important. Again come back to Ramayana. My friends, I'd like to tell you one thing now. Ramayana and Bhagavad Gita have a relationship. That's why I'm telling you now. Ramayana is a book of practice and Bhagavad Gita is its code of conduct. This is a manual, that is a practical class. There is a relation between these two. Whenever we purchase a machine, they support us with a manual also. Look into that and then do there. If you lose that manual, then you can't use it properly. Just having the machine is not enough. You need that book also. Keeping that book never does anything. It never helps you unless you have the machine with you so that just you can start using it. Ramayana is a practical class and Bhagavad Gita is the supported manual for us. These two things were given. So, for each and every recommendation made in this book, there is a right example. There is a ready reference. Just go there, see, and try to implement in your life. You can start practicing it with people around you. Come back to Ramayana. Rama was there. When he went along with Vishwamitra, Vishwamitra said, kill Tataka, my son. He was at crossroads. He was, very much puzzled. So far he didn't make any test. This is the first test he is going to make. Boni, we call in Telugu. Boni. What you call in Tamil? Same, na? He has to make first experiment. On whom? Old lady. Old lady. A great, powerful warrior making his first test, a maiden test on an old lady. So sad it is. It is something interesting to know. Krishna, his first experiment, the same way, Potana. Rama and Tataka. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Of course, there is a meaning. Let's not peep into that detail. But Tataka came and he was, just puzzling whether to kill her or not. But Vishwamitra said, kill. Then, of course, Rama killed her. After that, he gave Bala and Atibala. He got them. Immediately he gave them to Lakshmana. Vishwamitra didn't give them to Lakshmana. Only he gave to Rama. And Rama gave them to Lakshmana. The next day, after testing after making an entrance test whether he could really use them or not by, killing the Tataka, then Vishwamitra wanted to just dedicate all his astras to Rama. Just he gave them. Rama's memory was so great. Just he got them all. All those astras stood around him in a human form. Rama just touched each one of them. Manasa me bhavishyatvam. Be in my mind and be ready to come whenever I call on you. That's how Rama did. Of course, Rama went to Vishwamitra's yaga. He protected the yaga. Yaga was finished. Next morning, Vishwamitra was very, is not happy. Because Rama was a very, very beloved disciple, very brilliant disciple. He didn't want to send him back to kingdom. He wanted to do something more to Rama, but for the purpose for which he brought is already over. And then what to do now? He wanted only for 6 nights and the time is over, and he wanted to, he's forced to take him back to Dasaratha. But he was feeling very much, sad. Rama recognized this. Immediately Rama along with Lakshmana came and prostrated before Vishwamitra, and he said, now, hey my Guru, I am your disciple. You wanted me, 1, we came 2. See? You wanted me alone to come with you, but imausma munisardula kinkarau samupasthitau. Though you wanted 1, we came 2. Of course, we have few disciples with us, but they never, take care of our words. They never bother about us. If we say, do this, they say, no sir, I am not able to do this. I can do this way. Our way may be different. They wanted to do it in their own way. And if you say, do that way, then they will be your disciples. Otherwise, they say, bye-bye, I don't want you as my Guru. Get out. I will go on my own way. This is the way of disciples of today. But Rama said, Imau, samupasthitau, kinkarau. We are here, we are with you, we are at your lotus feet, and kinkarau. Do this, we did it, that's all. No question whether it can be done or not. Whatever, if you want to bring the sky down, we bring it. If you see to break this earth, we do this. My great Guru, we are your disciples. Ajñapaya, yatheshtam vai, sasanam karavava kim. What could we do for you? This is, Acharya Upasana of Rama. We know that his Guru was great, Vishwamitra. We know about him. He didn't do Acharya Upasana. Do you know the story of Vishwamitra? His Guru was Vasishtha. He was always quarreling with him. Because of that only he got all the Astra-Shastra in his hand, at his fingertips. That is Guru. Don't find out faults with Guru at all. Let Guru be in any way. Whether you are a right disciple or not, check yourself. Be a right disciple. Because it's God who takes care of you when you are approaching God through a Guru. Guru is a channel. It's God who takes care. Let some link may be damaged in the middle. It is that person who is owning that chain will repair the link. Otherwise, he removes that link and again fixes the other link with the top link and makes the object to move, to come out, to do the work. So, don't say, that Guru is like this Guru is like this, he is not fair, this is not good, and that he didn't do like this, so on and so forth. You shouldn't say at all. But it is something sad, Some Gurus themselves start pointing out. Let them do. Whoever may be our Guru, just do Upasana. Respect him. Not just respecting, worship him. This is Acharya Upasana which Rama did with Vishwamitra. That's why a man became God, my friends. Remember this. Rama was a man being worshipped today by all the human beings. Not just human beings, even by devatas. Devatas are also worshipping Rama because he was a real man. He did Acharya Upasana and became that great. If we also do our Acharya Upasana, yes, God will take care of us. At times Acharyas may be upset with us, but don't allow them to be like that. Whatever they order for our good, keep doing that. Acharya Upasanam Chaiva is the fifth one in the order which we have to practice. You know why this is done like this? If we have right acharyas with us, otherwise God will send a right acharya. If your acharya is not able to guide you, or whomever just you accepted as the acharya, if he is not able to do justice to you, you need not bother. It is the botheration of God. He corrects or he sends someone else to you, and then he keeps you again on the right track. If you are just away from the mainstream, again he brings you to the mainstream and keeps you on the right track. Again he will lead you to your goal. So we need to have that upasaka, that upasya bhavana in acharya. That will do. This is another quality which we have to cultivate. And Lord Krishna is going to elaborate the rest of the things, and let us discuss about them tomorrow. Now chant once again His divine name, and then let us conclude this session. Feelings as I have. If a state I feel is mine, whoever enters that state will have such feelings as I have. If a country, if I think that this is my country, whoever enters that country will have such feelings, But provided if this guy has very strong feelings, strong belief, strong practice, if it is good, others will become good. If it is bad, other becomes bad. You start practicing ahimsa, non-violence. Non-violence with heart. Don't think bad about others. Somebody may be doing something bad. Show sympathy towards him. Here a question comes. If somebody is doing bad, how should we tolerate? We have to hurt them with our words. Don't do that. This is a sort of hurting others. But hurting has different things, my friends. If a boy has stolen something from nearby house, and if you really want him to become good, then you have to pretend as if you are having anger towards him. Not because you are having anything against him, but you want to teach him something. So, Nana, don't do that. It's bad. It's wrong to do that. You should show as if you are not satisfied with him. And then he thinks my mom is upset with me because I did this. Let me not do this from tomorrow. That's how he starts learning. But intentionally don't hurt anybody, either with heart, with mind, with word, or physically. If you stop doing that, then you can cultivate ahimsa, non-violence. That you could do when you start developing sympathy towards others. If it is your son did something wrong, because you are sympathetic towards him, you start teaching him something good, then he becomes good. It's the same with anybody. If anybody in the world around is doing something bad or even doing damage to you, don't become angry. And just tell him good. Teach him good. Convince him with good. If he doesn't care, then slowly just show, or don't do this, do it. Try to stop him. You try to stop him in a way as he learns, when you have sympathy towards him. Krishna says, this is the third quality which you have to cultivate. Amanitvam adambhitvam ahimsa. Then you have to cultivate kshanti. Let us try to learn about those other qualities from tomorrow. Let Ramam bhuyo bhuyo namamyaham. Krishna rakshatu no jagatraya guruhu. Krishnam namasyamyaham. Krishnena amarasatravo vinihata. Krishnaya tasmai namaha. Krishnadeva samuthitam jagadidam. Krishnasya dasosmyaham. Krishne tishtati visvametadakhilam. He Krishna samrakshamam. Priya Bhagavad Bandho, human life is a beautiful drama. Director, screenplay writer, everything is God. We have to act. We are not one. Here are two. One is the body and the other is the soul. Both need something to do here. What to do? He guides us. He advises us. When there are two actors on the dais, both should act, right? If only one is acting and the other is keeping silent, it's meaningless. And there won't be any rasam in that at all. Both should function, both should work. In village plays, I think few may be knowing, they start dramas at 12 o'clock in the night. Then the drama goes on and on and on till morning 6 o'clock. And one actor starts singing, Bava eppudu vachitivi. And again, after each song, it keeps on singing like that. What the other actor should do? If the one actor is singing a long song, then other actor should not stand. No, flies will enter. That fellow, maybe the other one is singing for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or at times half an hour. The other one also should be acting. He also keep acting now, seeing this side or doing that side. Or, oh, is it so? Like, he should do something. He should not just stand idle. When the other one sings, this one should do. When this one is doing, the other one should do. Both should have their own roles to play, but both should coincide. And if he says something and he does something, if he says something, the other one does something, again there won't be any swarasyam at all. Whatever one player does, other one's action also should go in tune with the first one. Then only we can enjoy. Here, one actor is the body. We are the other actors. Both should act. Body should do karma and we should use our knowledge. That is what we call jnana. With body we have to do karma, but soul should use his jnanam. Jnanam according to the karma. Karma according to the jnana. But ultimately what should be the result? Soul should reach excellence. It should reach a place, an abode, where there won't be any sorrows at all. That should be the goal. Joy, eternal joy. That should be our goal. What is the karma we have to do? Come to Bhagavad Gita and ask Lord. He directs you. My friend, do this. Don't do this. While practicing things, you have to face so many problems. You have to encounter with different types of people. Still, you have to learn how to face them. You shouldn't run away from the days. No, you are supposed to be there on the days only. Problems he shows to you, and answers also will be shown to you. But he does both. You know, for people who are working with military, they give different types of training. Though there is no any problem, but suddenly one midnight he gives a wiggle. They should run. They should, take their baggage and they have to keep it on their back and they should run. And they have to face, what you call them? Mock war. That's like mock assembly. There won't be any war. But if at all an enemy attacks you, how you react? To know that, they create a situation like that and they give you training. Like that, for us also, Lord Krishna explains wonderful things to us. If this is the case, this should be the solution. If this is the case, this should be the solution. Like that, he shows us the problems and again he gives us how to solve those problems and go ahead in our this drama and make it Swarasyam. If you act well, yes, you become our heroine. If you won't act well, still you should be our days. Yes. See, on these days, here is a person, here is a mic, here is a carpet, here is a table, there is a lamp and so on and so forth. Each has its own role to play here. We should be on the days. What role you want to play? You want to play a role of a hero? Or just an actor somewhere in the corner? Each one of us always interested to become a hero. But here is the way to get it. Here is the way to become like that. In Bhagavad Gita, he shows us different things. We have to learn and practice them. While living with this body, to have that enjoyment, you face certain problems. And in 13th chapter, Lord Krishna gives you the things to cultivate, the qualities to cultivate in this body. Because this is a place to cultivate and you are the cultivator. He allows you to cultivate. He nurtures that. He supplies water. No power cut at all here. He has tremendous amount of power with him and he supplies water. Kripa, Neeram is always there. Our acharyas always pray to him. Twadikshana sudha sindhu vichi vikshepasi karaihi karunya maruta avitaihi sitalaihi Abhishincha Mam. Oh Lord, please bless me with your divine grace. Just one, if you look at me, that's all. I had a shower. He always supplies water. Kripa Drishti is always there. All that you need to use it. So while using, you have to have certain qualities to be cultivated, to be owned. 19 qualities are shown in 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita to cultivate good in this body. We are discussing about those qualities which we have to cultivate while dealing with people. He said, Amanitvam, Adambhitvam, Ahimsa, Kshantihi, Arjavam, Acharya Upasanam Chaiva. Each one we have to cultivate. One after one, yes, we get them. Yesterday we were discussing about Ahimsa. Ahimsa has so many things, Ahimsa means not hurting others. That's not only the Ahimsa. Ahimsa has another side also. Don't hurt even yourself also. Hurting your own body also called Himsa. Not only hurting others. At times we may not hurt others, but we hurt ourselves. Some people, I think you must be knowing, they observe fasting. Sunday for one god, Monday for another god, Tuesday for one more god. I don't know, Wednesday to what god. Some probably Wednesday is best rest. And Tuesday for one more god, Friday for one, Saturday for one. Again the cycle repeats. We have seen few people, they come to us and say, Swamiji, it is a hell for me in my house. My wife observes all these days as fasting. How could I eat? When my wife is not eating, I am not able to eat and I am suffering like anything. Swamiji, what should I do? In Shastras, it is said, Anishidha Sukhatyagi Pasureva Na Samsayaha. Shastra recommended few things to observe fasting or something. You have to observe those many things, that's enough. In Shastras, it is said, you have to observe fast on Ekadashi day. There are two Ekadashis. Shukla Ekadashi and Krishna Ekadashi. Observe fasting on those 2 days, that's enough, that will do. Swamiji, if we observe fasting on all these days, then what happens? Food is saved. If you really observe that. Now we people say that is Upavasam. On the Upavasam day we have to observe Palaharam. If we spend 5 rupees for food, for regular food, for Palaharam we spend 50 rupees. That's not right. That's not the way. You may, if you observe, save some food, but you cannot gain any sort of punyam. And you may not be pleasing Him also at the same time. To please God, observe the days which He recommended, which He ordered to observe as fasting. They are Ekadashi days. You have to observe. And Amavasya and Purnima. That's enough. If you observe